principles and theories of the language acquisition and learning, we get a focus on its definition, its nature, characteristics, design features, aspects, and its historical background. So, number 1, which is the language meanings and definitions. Language is a complex system of communication, which is a medium of thought in a social interaction. Various scholars define a language as a system of communication and a method of human communication. And also, they consider this as an expression of the ideas, a system of arbitrary vocal symbols, and, of course, to gather or to contribute the information. Number 2, which is the language, nature's characteristics, and design features. Nature of the language. Number 1, words are just symbols. The second one, meanings reside in people, not in words. It means the meaning depends on how the people perceive the message. Number 3, words are multiple meaning or has a multiple meanings. The last one is language is dynamic. It means it is changing. So, let's move on to the characteristic and the defined feature of the language. Arbitrariness. No inherent connection between a word and its meaning. Number 2, it is also considered as symbolic. Words represent the concepts, vocal, verbal, and sound. Language relies on vocalization and sound perception, and a productive. New appearances can be created. Social instrument. Language facilitates communication and social interaction. Language also can be considered as systematic. Language is a learned, agreed upon community. And the last one, language is non-instinctive. Language is not innate but acquired. Let's move on to the number 3, which is the aspects of the language. Number 1, we have phonemes. Phonemes is the smallest unit of the sound. Number 2, morphemes, the smallest unit of a meaning. Number 3, a lexeme, or a word. Syntax, or the sentence structure. And the last one is the context, which is it focuses on the situation in which the language are being used. The number 4, which is the language variation. Language variety and different forms of language is based on a social factor. The dialect is the individual speech variety. The factors contributing to the variation is that the social situation, occupation, age, geography, education, gender, social status or class, and of course, the ethnicity. There are types of language, which is the regional and the social. Prestige variety is the dialect that associates with its mainstream or social prestige. Stigmatized variety. Dialect is associated with negative features from a mainstream of social perspective. The pidgin. New language developed for communication between speakers of the different language. Creole. The distinct language with a vocabulary from another language and unique grammatical rules. Regional dialect. Variety of a language spoken in a specific area. And the minority language or minority dialect, a language of a minority group used as a marker of their identity or, of course, our identity. Indigenous variety. Language mainly spoken as a language in multilingual populations. Let's move on to the number 5, which is the history of the language. There are theories of the language origin. The first one is they believe to the divine creation, which is a language is a gift from the gods. Number 2, the natural evolution, or humans evolved a language acquisition device. Invention hypothesis. Yes, we have two types of hypothesis. The first one is invention hypothesis, which is the language was consciously inverted by humans. And the imitation hypothesis, which is the language are developed from mimicking sounds or movements. Necessity hypothesis. Language evolved from warning, signals, cooperative efforts, or the need to deceive. Language diversity. There are 3. The first one is monogenesis. One original language. The polygenesis is the multiple original languages and a mother tongue theory. One original language diverge into a present-day languages. The importance of the language or the typology is to trace the original mother tongue and to understand the past cultures and societies. Language is a complex and multifaceted system that plays a crucial role in human communication and social interaction. Understanding the natures, characteristics, aspects, and historical background of language is essential for effective communication and appreciating the diversity of the human languages. That's all for today.